Hello and welcome to the channel, YouTube world. Wolcen update 1.04 is now live, and as always, there will be a link down in the description box if you wish to read them at your own leisure. General: fixing a crash on connection if a player starts an endgame Transmutation Forge project. Fixing an issue allowing players to have more passive skill nodes activated than their total points would allow. Fixing item duplication via chest panel issue offline. Fixing stackable items duplication. Fixing invalid sell price on stacked items. Fixing an issue that caused the chest panel deletion when changing acts. Fixing item deletion when exiting the game while dragging an item from the inventory. Fixing an issue causing players to fall from Act 1 boss platforms while using Warpath. Fixing an issue causing crafting reagents to ignore lower tier gems when selecting magic effects. Fixing an issue preventing dot damage bonuses to be displayed in the character sheet detail panel. I need to catch my breath. User interface: fixing an issue making items on the ground hard to pick up depending on the frame rate. Active skills: fixing an issue preventing summon minions bonuses to work. The wealth omens cannot be possessed by parasite anymore. Fixing an issue preventing livor mortis damage redirection to work. Fixing an issue causing livor mortis damage redirection to invalidate player magic effects. Engine: fixing an issue preventing offline characters to be saved. Network: fixing issues regarding network load and unretrieved data. Quests: fixing an issue to prevent player from going to Helmshire before talking to Valeria during Dawnbringer. Fixing 2 soft locks preventing players to go into the Monolith. Remove double objectives while exiting Battlefield Overlook during infiltration. Fixing progression issue in Seliph Ramparts during the Gates of Fury. Remove quest effects on Circus cutscene during the Bane of the Storm. Improve Edric and Val stability during Children of the Heimlock. Improve behavior of the fast travel tutorial during Meet the Purifiers. Improve transition from gameplay to the last cutscene during Children of Heimlock. Improve clarity of the objectives on quest chasing Val. Improve script of the quest chasing Val. Improve script around Zimma's dialogue during Creeping Shadows. Fixing a wrong dialogue portrait displayed during Children of Heimlock. Fixing an issue preventing players from talking to Zimma in Act 2. Fixing an issue preventing players from progressing further during Act 2. Monsters: fixing a bug allowing Eos, Dawn's Pious Striker, to kill certain story bosses under 15% of their max health when used in combination with sudden death. Fixed an issue with the endgame special boss preventing loot to drop upon death. Fixing an issue with the endgame special boss that sometimes didn't have the right level. Items: replacing the bonus to health on this item on Purifier Statement Unique Spolder by a maximum health bonus. Existing items will be re-rolled. Fixing the additional stamina points magic effect on boots being unable to roll on high-level items. Fixing the Macfestine Interact cosmetic mismatch that made it appear as an unknown weapon and without any mesh. Gate of Fates: fixing a bug with Child of Fury mode, Blistering Embrace and Shattering Strike. They didn't work properly. Seems like a lot of things weren't, but you know, that's another story for another day, like with all the inventory and the stuff just vanishing into thin air, but yeah. White Arrow node: acute tracking now allows for a maximum of 10 cold-blooded points, up from 5 maximum points. Siegebreaker node: secure parry now gives 0.1% health regeneration per inexorable point, down from 10% health regeneration per inexorable point. Percentages are hard. Yes, so is math, apparently. Siegebreaker node: Bane of Tyranny now has its correct value too. Your damage is now increased by 0.5 multiplier by your equip shield's block chance instead of 50. Again, percentages are hard. Aspects of the Apocalypse. Aspects of the Apocalypse balance reduce their duration and increase their damage in order to make these forms more impactful in comparison with non-Apocalypse damage per second. Base damages of all aspects of Apocalypse skills have been increased by 60%. And yes, I'm uncomfortable. I gotta move, sorry. Aspect of Dawn. Immaculate Score increased cost from 5 to 40. Immaculate Score increased damage multiplier by 100. Dawn Choir increases cost from 10 to 60. Dawn Choir increased damage multiplier by 300%. Will of the Protector increased cost from 20 to 60. Hammer the Aurora increased cost from 20 to 100. All Cleansing Light increased the cost from 100 to 200. Aspect of War. Frenzy Attack increased cost from 5 to 40. Frenzy Attack increased damage multiplier by 100%. Charge of the First Warrior increased the cost from 20 to 60. Charge of the First Warrior increased damage multiplier by 200%. Unflinching Assault increased cost from 10 to 20. Scorching Obelisk increased cost from 20 to 100. Strife of Bapfif, whatever the hell that word is, increased the cost from 100 to 200. Aspect of Infinity, biorhythmic missiles increase cost from 5 to 40. Biorhythmic missiles increase damage multiplier by 150%. Parallel Convergence increase cost from 10 to 40. Parallel Convergence increases damage multiplier by 200%. Calamitous Paradox increase cost from 20 to 150. These are big changes. Calamitous Paradox reduce the bonus damage per point of entropy by 70%. Calamitous Paradox increase cooldown from 5 to 10 seconds. Inevitable obsolescence, whatever. Increase cost from 20 to 100. Inevitable obsolescence reduce damage multiplier by 20%. Spatial Warp increased the cost per second from 25 to 40. Spatial Warp reduce max duration of the last phase from 5 seconds down to 3 seconds. Spatial Warp reduce damage multiplier of the first phase by 50%. Spatial Warp reduce damage multiplier of the second phase by 33%. Spatial Warp reduce damage multiplier of the last phase by 25%. Aspect of the Flesh. Bone Blade Incisions increase cost from 5 to 40. Bone Blade Incision increased damage multiplier by 100%, so expect to be doing a lot more stitching. Don't ask. Bone Shuriken increased cost from 20 to 40. Bone Shuriken increased damage multiplier by 100%. Eviscerating Flurry increased cost from 20 to 50. Eviscerating Flurry increased damage multiplier by 100%. The Ungering Flesh increased cost per second from 20 to 50. The Ungering Flesh reduced damage multiplier of the final hit by 40%. Miscellaneous added Feeding Swarm. Interact in the quest reward when you talk to Demetra for the first time, fixing a generation issue on some maps and Reverie Incense, leading to the wrong area. Example, Expedition with more chests that don't have any chest. Fixing some rare currents of the Offering Shrine to be unable to generate valid objects at a low character level. Audio restored missing sound effects, ambience, and music across the game. Did you see what I did there? That was my attempt at trying to be funny. Some performance gains from optimizations to environmental audio. Localization. Changed the name of Concealed Pistol. It's now named Radiant Pistol. You can now fast travel instead of fast travel. Oh, jeepers. Removed the double occurrence of Rogue in the Siegebreaker Salvation Anchor. Added missing localization for some error messages. Fixing some typos and dialogues. In addition to this, know that we are also currently working on other issues/additions, and although they're not in the patch notes, we're hoping that they will be resolved/added in this week's patch. If they are not, they will be in the patch next week. PTBR localization selection, adding Korean languages, unable to click play in multiplayer, Act 3 boss stuck during the boss fight and can't be killed, unconfirmed item dupes, Act 1 boss stuck during the ultimate and can't be killed. Well, I guess that makes him ultimate. Force shield synchronization and related nodes leading Force shield to behave strangely. And that is it for me. So as always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. And if you think you're missing inventory stuff disappearing and not being able to connect and all that was a big deal, how about just your fucking game disappears right out of your Steam library and you gotta repurchase it again? Huh? How do you like that? And that's what's gonna happen if you give it a thumbs down. So I'm just saying. And if you want to subscribe to the channel after all those wonderful things I just said that could potentially happen to you, of course, that would be greatly appreciated. But if not, screw you. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, boys and girls, or whatever it is you identify as. And as always, take care, and I shall see you all in the next video. Bye for now.